I'm about to listen to this nonsense. This black guy, they always get a black guy to talk about how shooting another black person is okay. It's an okay thing to do. For some stupid reason, it's okay. Go ahead and shoot them. You know, they'll always find some so-called conservative, but they're not conservative to me. They're stupid and they're dangerous. And it is what it is. So we'll listen to what this idiot has to say.
If the rest of America, which is Black America in part, okay, had the same agenda, and that is to make it home, instead of trying to make a point, trying to make a video for social media, trying to race bait these police officers, if they had the same agenda as police officers, and that is to make it home to their loved ones at the end of the day, or at the end of shift, this world would be so much different.
Okay, let's pick this apart right now. Philando Castile did not race bait this police officer. 2, this police officer was Hispanic. He wasn't a white guy. I'm just going to put that out there because it's going to come into play later. 3, Philando Castile, he was with a little girl. It wasn't his little girl, but it was his girlfriend's little girl. So he's with his girlfriend and his little girl, and her little girl, excuse me. 4, Philando Castile wasn't driving at all, okay, which is going to come into play later. 5, they didn't start making the video until the incident actually happened. Let's listen to what the rest of what this goofy guy has to say.
And it's true, this world would be so much different. The idiotic thing is I see about with this video is that it's completely justified because, first of all, Philando Castile had a very a big problem with authority.
Where in the whole video did he have a problem with authority? Where did you get this information from? Do you know his criminal record? Does he have a criminal record? If he does, present his criminal record instead of just hyperbole. How many felonies does he have? What are the felonies for? How do we know he has a problem with authority? Other than you just going ahead and saying that, just to color Philando Castile a worse person and making it seem okay for this police officer to shoot him 6 times in front of a little girl and his girlfriend. Where do you have the evidence that he had a problem with authority? Okay, let's move on.
Number one thing, he had a big problem with authority. He didn't like to listen to anybody.
How do you know?
Second of all, he was breaking the law and driving without brake lights, okay?
Let's stop right there. Philando Castile was not driving. His girlfriend was driving. So that's out the window too. Let's move on.
So he's breaking the law and he has a problem with authority.
Both wrong.
The police officer was very respectful when he got pulled over. He said, all right, I'm just letting you know I got a firearm on me. First of all, the police officer said...
For one, he didn't say it like that. When he was asked for his driver's license, he let him know, Philando Castile let him know that he had a conceal and carry, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with letting an officer know that you have a conceal and carry on you. Because officers often ask, do you have a weapon? You are allowed to carry a weapon in America, especially if you do it according to the law. In some states, you're allowed to open carry. In other states, you're allowed to have a concealed and carry license. See that we all know this. So Philando had a concealed and carry license, and he had it legally. Let's move on.
License, insurance, and registration, right? License, insurance, registration. He gave him a little bit of a headache about that, right?
When?
So, cop got a little nervous.
When did he give him a headache about it? All he said was, I have a weapon. That's it. We can go and review this over and over and over again. He gave him no headache, no static. He didn't raise his voice, his arms, nothing. All he said was, I have a weapon. We can review this over and over and over again because we know what happened because we saw it. This guy is speaking in nothing but just a bunch of fluff to make the officer seem like he was justified in shooting this man. Let's move on.
Okay? And he said, license, search, registration. He said, I'm just letting you know I got a firearm on me. What did the cop say? The cop said, don't reach for it.
Exactly.
Don't reach for it.
Yeah.
Don't reach for it. Don't. Boom, 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 boom. And that was it. So
okay, so did Philando reach for his license or did he reach for the weapon? Okay, let's put that out there. Which one was he reaching for? Which one do you think that he was reaching for? Let's just use our common sense. There's an officer, two officers, one on each side of your vehicle. You're with your girlfriend and you're with a little girl. Okay, the officer did not pull up on you aggressively. He pulled up on you and he was correct. He was respectful. The other officer didn't even say anything. He's just standing there. Nobody said anything. Aggressive to each other. Can I see your license registration? Yes, just letting you know I have enough. Now let's go back even further. For one, the girl was the driver. Why are you asking Castile for his license and registration? Why are you asking him for anything? He wasn't the driver. He didn't commit a crime. See, this is the problem. We like to think that these officers are doing their damn job when they had no right to even ask that man for his license. Why? Because when you're asking somebody for your license, you're investigating them. If you're investigating somebody, you have to have a cause for investigating them. He could have said, why do I have to give you my license? I didn't do anything. I'm not the driver. You stopped me. You stopped this vehicle because of an infraction of the vehicle. That's it. You didn't stop because of an infraction that I created. You stopped it because of the vehicle had an infraction. You're supposed to give me a ticket, tell me to fix my taillight, move on. The passenger had nothing to do with what the actual stop was for. See, we're so used to cops breaking the law that when we see it, we're just like, let them break the law. And then when they murder us, we're like, we deserved it. When the cop was the one who was actually breaking the law. That cop had no probable cause to even ask for that ID. Not one. What did Castile do? Did he whip out the gun and start shooting people? He was sitting in his car with his woman and his girl and got stopped. He was not driving. Just people, man, you people don't look at the law, you don't study the law, you don't care about the law because you're so blind to the truth. These officers are breaking the law every day. They're telling you you don't even have your amendments. You don't even have inalienable rights when it comes to these officers. You don't have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You don't. If they want to take your life, they're going to take your life. These cops are committing crimes. Okay, let's get that straight.
Obviously, the police officer told him, don't reach for it.
Right.
But he decided to do it anyway because...
No, what was he reaching for? He wasn't reaching for his weapon. He was reaching for his license because the officer told him to get out his license. That's what he was reaching for. Point blank. But listen, oh my God, it's just...
trying to make a point to the cop.
He wasn't trying to make a
Philando
point.
Castile.
He was trying to make a point, and the cop told him 6 times, don't reach for it, and he was still trying to make a point. What was his point? He had a cop on each side of him. Where was he going? This dude was like a Mr. Rogers in his neighborhood. This guy was a social worker. He was a social worker. He wasn't a bank robber. They didn't just commit a heist and he was like, I'm not going out like that. This wasn't Bonnie and Clyde and Baby. This was a social worker who had a registered weapon. He didn't reach for his weapon. Point blank.
Pissed off because of the traffic stop.
He wasn't.
I'm sure his girl was egging him on as well.
How? Where do you get this information? Where? Where in the video do you see this? We saw the whole transaction. Where do you get his woman was egging him on, you asshole?
And now you see what happens. The character in which a man portrays...
You know what? What's going to happen to you, bro? The police are going to shoot you. And you're going to do everything that you think you should have done right. You think these officers like you. You think these police officers are on your side. That's what you think. You think if you do everything right, Bootney P. Farnsworth, that these officers are not going to kill you. But you haven't been listening or watching for the last year on how many people have got shot, and they did everything correct. Like that drummer. They shot him, he obeyed the law. He did everything correct. Or how about that guy in Florida, laying on his back in the middle of the street with his hands up, he still gets shot. Huh?
Is that by which he will be judged, okay? You carry yourself like a gangster.
How?
Like a non-contributing...
When? When did he carry himself like a gangster? When? What information do you have, and what information can you present that says Philando carried himself like a gangster? What, when, where? Show it, please. Please show us this information. Please. You have none.
Member of society, you carry yourself as like a menace to society.
How?
And you're going to be treated as the character in which you portray.
He was a social worker. What menace to society is that?
Okay? It comes down to the character in which you portray. This shooting, along with thousands of other ones, have nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with police officers.
Then why aren't they shooting Asian people down in the street? You don't think Asian people got concealing carries? You don't think Asian people got attitudes? You don't think that? Why not Indian people? When's the last time somebody from India got shot by a police officer? Huh? How about Arabs? How about any of those? You are a complete uneducated asshole.
Shooting and killing a black man or unarmed black man. It has everything to do with, for some reason, black men blaming everyone for their problems.
Everyone for their problems. How about Gaines that got killed a couple months ago in Chicago? And then they shot her child. They said that she had a gun when she did not have a gun. The video that they first showed was 2 weeks ago. What they did was they stopped this woman and they took her out of her car and they took her kids. And she refused to get out of her car because she knew she was in the right. She knew she was in the right. And listen, even if she was wrong, why not just give her a ticket? So what happened was they did issue her a ticket finally, and when they issued her a ticket, they put a warrant out for her arrest. They came to her house as a SWAT team with every intention to kill, and they shot her in front of her kids. Explain that. How about the little girl who got shot, little 8-year-old girl who got shot in the neck? How about that? You gonna explain that? Uneducated bastard.
Feeling that they don't have to listen to anybody, which the problem with that is because 96% of African American kids don't have a father. They never listened to their mom. They ran all over their mother. Okay, so they never had a father figure. So when a police officer encounters a black man or a young African American man, 9 times out of 10, that man did not grow up with a father. And 9 times out of 10, that police officer is literally the only authority figure that has ever held that young man accountable.
Where do you get that from?
And as well as I do, we've all grown up. We've been spanked.
So wait a minute. So the police officer is the only one who is holding these young black men accountable. So there's no teachers. These guys are completely uneducated. They never had a teacher. There's no teacher from first grade, preschool, all that, all the way up 12th grade, all the way up to college, because Philando, I believe, was college educated. So no authority figure other than this cop all of a sudden. They didn't have grandmothers. They don't have grandfathers. They don't have uncles. They don't have they're just born and then they just run all over their mother and run all over the place and nobody else teaches them anything. Not one person. Until an officer is introduced in their life and then he kills them. This is what you're saying. Okay, people.
Chastised, but that's the way we grew up because we had fathers and we had people that cared about us, that loved us, that gave us punishments, that punished us out of love for us and out of love for our well-being and our future. But a lot of young black men have no fathers. They never grew up with any fathers, never grew up with any role model. So the time when people say, why are...
Okay, for one, you're stupid because a lot of black men that they don't grow up with their dads, but they grow up with father figures. You don't have to, for one, let's get this straight. The mom isn't getting ran all over on, like you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about, but you couldn't run all over my mom because she'll slap the piss out of you. And she had 6 of us. There was no running all over my mom because she fought with knives. Okay? So I don't know where you're getting your information about black moms. You wasn't running all over my mom. What you was going to get was your lights turned out. Okay? And a lot of moms are like that. So once again, your information is skewed. Okay?
Why are black men so angry? Why are they have such a big problem with authority?
Because they're getting shot dead in the street. That's why. Because our mothers, our fathers, and our children are getting shot dead in the street. They're getting hung in jails. They're getting hung outside of jails. The last hanging was in North Carolina just a couple months ago, and it was a 21-year-old girl. They're getting shot just by walking down the street. There was a guy who shot 5 black people just because he felt like it. That's why they're angry.
They never had authority figure. That's why young black men aren't graduating from high school. They're not graduating from college. They're getting locked up. They're having problems within the criminal justice system because they never...
The criminal justice system is another form of slavery, asshole.
A role model. They never had a role model.
You don't have role models.
I think it's absolutely important for people to realize the character in which a man portrays is that by which he will be judged.
Once again, he was a social worker. Keep going.
I don't have problems with police officers. I don't have problem with the Secret Service. I don't have problem with security guards.
Why would you have problems with the Secret Service? Let's rewind that.
Which a man portrays is that by which he will be judged. I don't have problems with police officers. I don't have problem with the Secret Service. I don't have problem with security.
Why would you have problems with the Secret Service? I've never been introduced to anyone in the Secret Service. I'm a black man. My dad wasn't there. Okay? I'm supposed to be this criminal you're talking about. All right? Me and my brothers. We're all supposed to be these big-time criminals, gun-toting and all this. I don't even have a gun. Okay? My older brother does. All right? But we're both U.S. Army veterans, and my sister, and my nephew, and my dad. So where's all this bullcrap that you're talking about? Surely, out of the 90%, one of those black male figures in my family is supposed to be run around here with the gun, egging on police. One of us is supposed to, maybe more than one as a matter of fact, is supposed to be running around here race baiting cops, looking to get shot and killed in front of our family and our little girl. According to your statistics. Look, people get in trouble, they go to jail, okay, fine. But what you're saying is just asinine. You're saying that Philando asked to get shot. That's what you're saying, which is completely ridiculous. He's with his girl, he's with his woman's child, and there's 2 cops right there armed, looking at both him and his woman. And he wants to get shot. I'm not even going to listen to any more of your assholeness because faggots like you always like to talk that stupid junk. But when one of you get hurt, you want to call on every black person in the nation to come and help you and to come and get justice for your stupid black ass when you were the stupid ass up here thinking that your Brooks Brothers shirt is going to get you a pass with police officers, but they will shoot your black ass dead in the street in front of your children and your mother, and they will laugh at you the whole time, just like they did to Michael Brown. You are no different than any other black man. And they'll hang you by that tie that you got around your neck, you stupid ass. I'm done with this. Just stupid.